Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. Hope you guys are doing well today. In this video, I'm going to give you guys a quick tutorial on the PIggy program on Bitrue. I've noticed that my videos on Bitrue have been getting a huge surge, and a lot of my clients from Patreon have been asking me about my thoughts on Bitrue and how to get started with PIggy. So I figured why not make a fresh video for you guys. And given that you need the BTR token, which is the exchange's native token, to access some of the premium rates and get a front of the line pass when you guys deposit funds into PIggy. So I'll conclude the video with my thoughts on the tokenomics, and I'll share my thoughts on whether I think the token has potential or not. And regardless if you guys decide to sign up for Bitrue, I included a link to my interest rate tracker in the description below. If you wanted to put your assets to work on the various CeFi platforms, I made it a little bit easier for you guys to see the lending rates for multiple assets across various CeFi lending platforms. And don't forget to check me out on Twitter and give me a follow. This way, if I come across another CeFi or DeFi lending platform, you'll be the first to know. With the intro out of the way, let's go ahead and dive into this video. Alright, to kickstart this video, let me show you guys how to get started with PIggy. Obviously, the first thing you need to do is create an account. If you're new to Bitrue or you haven't created an account to date, feel free to use my referral link in the description below. Now, unlike BlockFi, Nexo, and other CeFi lending platforms where you're going to start earning interest as soon as you make the deposit, with Bitrue, unless you have the BTR token, you'll have to wait for the open window in the PIggy to deposit your assets and earn interest. With that being said, after you guys create an account, you go over here to assets, click on deposit, transfer your assets over. And once your assets are on Bitrue, click here on PIggy, scroll down and pick the asset that you want to put in the PIggy. And I'd like to highlight that 30-day lockup versus the unlimited are two different programs. For the unlimited lockup, you don't need Bitrue tokens, but for the 30-day lockup, you're going to need them. So in this video, I'll use Bitcoin as an example. At the top, you'll see the rate that you're going to earn, which is distributed to you on a daily basis. Now, that doesn't mean you're going to get 5.3% every day. You'll get whatever the annualized yield is divided by 365 on a daily basis. There's also a minimum if you want to join, which means as you get these interest distributions, you'll have to wait until you get to 0.01 in order to compound your interest. You can sort of get around this if you withdraw all your assets and you redeposit everything with the interest that you've accrued. Now, 5.3% is the base rate. You guys can actually get a higher rate. So for example, let's say I have $100,000 worth of assets on the platform. $3,000 worth of my assets are Bitrue. This would make me eligible for the 5.48% interest rate. And let's say Bitrue appreciates over time, and today it's over 20% of my portfolio. In that setting, I would get 7.26%. Now, throughout the day, you're gonna get 2 open windows to deposit your funds. And depending on the availability and how popular the asset is, to optimize your chances of getting in, you should try to get in as soon as it becomes available. And if you scroll up to the top here, you can see that the next window is going to open in 11 hours and 7 minutes. So make sure you guys set an alarm a few minutes before the next window opens and refresh the page as soon as the window is open. A lot of my subscribers and a few people on Discord have told me that it's very challenging to get in, but it is possible. If you didn't want to wait and you want a front of the line pass, you'll need to buy some BTR tokens. And the way this works is that if you buy Bitrue tokens, every Bitrue token that you buy and that you put into the PIggy will add 20 cents to your VIP cap. So for example, let's say you have 1,000 BTR tokens. 20% of that would be 200. This means you'll have $200 worth of Bitcoin that you can put into the PIggy without having to wait for an open window. And another way to calculate it is, let's say you have $1,000 worth of Bitcoin, just divide 1,000 by 0.2, and that'll give you the number of Bitrue tokens that you need to buy in order to have a VIP cap of $1,000. Hopefully that was easy for you guys to understand. If you have any questions, you guys can make those inquiries in the comment section below. And the thing with Bitrue is that their model is probably going to change and evolve. If you want an easy way to keep up with everything, I'd recommend subscribing to my free newsletter. My buddy writes monthly reports on Bitrue, and in these reports, he'll give you updates, moves that he's making. And recently, Bitrue started getting into DeFi, and by subscribing to this newsletter and following my buddy's work, you guys can keep track of how his experiment with Bitrue's DeFi program is going. Now in this segment, I'm going to show you guys how to get involved with Bitrue lockups. With this program, you definitely need to buy some BTR tokens. The rates that you see here compared to the PIggy are going to be substantially higher, but in order to benefit from these rates, you do have to lock up your token for 30 days. So with the PIggy, there's no commitment and you get paid daily. With the lockup, you have to lock it up for 30 days. You get higher rates and you get your distribution at the end of 30 days. Now with this program, every Bitrue token that you hold and to make a 40-cent deposit into the lockup program. So in other words, if you have 1,000 Bitrue, you can deposit up to $400 in any one of the assets that they support. But this also means if, let's say, the following month, the asset that you deposited goes up in value, you'll need to buy more Bitrue in order to deposit all your crypto assets into the lockup again. So for example, let's say 1 month your Ethereum was worth $400 and you locked it up, earned some interest, and then you got your Ethereum back. And the following month, you wanted to deposit all your Ethereum plus the interest back into the 30-day lockup. But during the time that your money was invested into the 30-day lockup, ETH had doubled. So now you have $800+ that you need to put back into the 30-day lockup. This would require you to buy more Bitrue in order to deposit all of your Ethereum back into the lockup. All right, to wrap things up, let's talk about the tokenomics, because a common question I'll get from new users of Bitrue is whether they should buy the Bitrue token or not. The model that Bitrue uses for their token is very similar to Binance. Not only do you have token burns, but you also have incentives for using the Bitrue token to make payments. So for example, in the first year, if you use the platform and you pay for fees using your Bitrue tokens, you'll get 40% off. In Bitrue's second year of operation, you'll get 30% off, third year 20%, and so forth. Bitrue ownership entitles you to a higher interest rate in the PIggy, and as we discussed earlier, you can use it to increase the dollar value of your VIP cap, and you can also stake it to generate a lockup cap. And at the time of recording this video, you can get a 7.3% rate on your Bitrue tokens by depositing it into the PIggy. In addition to all the utility features I just mentioned, they also have a buyback program. They use 20% of the profits made by the Bitrue platform, and they use that for buybacks. And after buying the tokens, they're subsequently burned. And they're very transparent about this entire process. If you click any of the links here, you guys can actually see the contract that burns the tokens. Now, in terms of the token's potential, I can tell you from first-hand experience that when Binance Coin first came out, it didn't have nearly the amount of utility that the Bitrue token does. But nonetheless, I'm pretty optimistic about the token, because I think this platform is very underrated. At some point, I think a lot of other users are going to discover them. And when that happens, the token will really begin to take off. I mean, just take a look at the Cell token, look at the Voyager token. A lot of these CeFi tokens are taking off because the market is recognizing that the token actually has some utility, unlike tokens in the past. Also, we're coming to the stage of the market where market participants are using these tokens as a proxy for investment into the CeFi platform. So for example, when an investor wants exposure to a CeFi platform success, I think it's very likely that they're going to go ahead and buy the platform token. Also, when they hear about other tokens doing well, they see Celsius going from 5 cents all the way to $5. People are going to be looking for similar opportunities. And I think in their pursuit of this opportunity, they're going to end up on Bitrue, and they're going to inevitably get exposure to the Bitrue token. Now, if you look at the historical performance of the token, it obviously hasn't done very well. It was gaining some momentum after March, but after they launched their second token, a lot of investors were upset and they ended up dumping their Bitrue tokens. Now, after that dump, they've regained some of that momentum, and we're seeing a huge surge in volume at the moment. And that's consistent with the fact that I'm getting more views on my Bitrue videos. And because of that and all the other reasons that I outlined in this segment, I'm pretty optimistic about the token's future. And one thing you guys should know about crypto assets is that they tend to be very thinly traded. I mean, if you look at Binance in its early days, it was trading around 8 to 9 cents. Fast forward a few months, and all of a sudden it was trading at $23. Now, with that being said, I'm not suggesting that you're going to see similar returns with Bitrue, but I did want to highlight the fact that these tokens can move really fast. And to conclude, I just wanted to be fully transparent and tell you guys that I do have exposure to the Bitrue token. And if you guys wanted to know it in real time, whether I'm buying more or when I plan to sell, you guys should definitely check out my Patreon page. Even if you guys end up joining the lower tier I have for $20 a month, you'll gain access to my private Discord channels where I publish my moves in real time. And if you're interested in expediting your learning, given how fast this market is moving, by joining one of the higher tiers, you can even have one-on-one dialogue with me. If you feel like you could benefit from a service like that, make sure you guys check out the description below and click my Patreon link. With that, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is CryptoOneStop signing out. I'll talk to you folks next time. Bye.